My wife of 27 years inherited $2 million from her dead first husband. Then he showed up at our door very much alive, demanding his money back. The life insurance fraud investigation revealed she'd been playing a 30-year-long game that nobody saw coming. Original post. I, 52 male, thought I knew my wife Diane, 51, 27 years of marriage, 3 kids, built a whole life together. Turns out I didn't know jack. Last month, we get this massive windfall. Diane's crying, tells me her first husband Victor died in a boating accident overseas. Life insurance payout, $2 million. I'd barely known about Victor. They were married like 2 years, in their early 20s. He supposedly died in some accident abroad. End of story. She never talked about him. The money hits our account. Diane's already planning. New house, college funds topped off, maybe early retirement. I'm cautiously optimistic, but something feels off. She's nervous in a way that doesn't match grief. Then 3 weeks ago, Sunday afternoon, doorbell rings. I open it. There's this guy, maybe mid-50s, weathered face, looking pissed as hell. I need to speak to Diane. Now. And you are? Victor Castellano, her dead husband. My brain just stopped. This supposedly dead man is standing on my porch, very much alive, demanding to see my wife. Diane comes to the door. The color drains from her face. Not shock like, oh my God, you're alive. More like, oh shit, you found me. Vic, $2 million, Diane. That's what you collected saying I was dead. I don't know what you're talking about. Cut the crap. I know about the insurance claim. I want my money. Someone want to explain what the hell is going on? Victor turns to me. Your wife faked my death 30 years ago for insurance money. We split it back then. Now she's doing it again with a new policy she took out using forged documents. You're insane. Get off our property. I have proof. Every document. Every transaction. You really thought I wouldn't find out when you filed another claim? He pulls out his phone, shows me an email notification from some insurance monitoring service about a death claim filed in his name. Recent, with our address listed. Diane, what is this? He's lying. This man isn't even Victor. Victor laughs, bitter sound. DNA test then? Police, FBI, insurance fraud investigators? Your choice. That's when Diane breaks. Not crying. Just this cold, calculated shift. Diane, fine, come in. We'll discuss this. We sit in my living room, my house, with my wife and her not dead first husband discussing insurance fraud like it's a business meeting. Update 1. The full story came out over the next hour. Buckle up because this is insane. Diane and Victor weren't some young couple in love. They were con artists. Met in their early 20s, realized they both had flexible morals. Their marriage? A business arrangement. The scam was simple, but required patience. They'd get married, establish a paper trail, take out life insurance policies. Then Victor would die overseas, always somewhere with sketchy death certificate processes. Diane would collect, they'd split the money, Victor would assume a new identity. They did this 3 times in different states before meeting me. But here's where it gets worse. Diane didn't retire from the game when she married me. She just went solo. She kept renewing a policy on Victor without his knowledge, using forged signatures. Waited decades for heat to die down, for systems to get computerized, but records to be forgotten. Then last year, she decided to cash in one more time. Except Victor had gotten paranoid over the years. Set up alerts, monitoring services, anything with his various identities. The moment Diane filed that claim, he knew. Victor, I want my cut. 50%. Or I go to the authorities. You can't. You're implicated too. I've got immunity deals you can't imagine, sweetheart. Testified in 2 federal cases about other things. They'd love to hear about you. Wait, hold up. Our entire marriage, was this the plan? Was I just another mark? Diane looks at me. No warmth, no apologetic expression, just calculation. Diane, no, Robert, I actually tried to go straight, but do you have any idea how expensive life is? 3 kids, college, your salary barely covers the basics. My salary, I'm an accounts manager. Make decent money, not millions, but apparently not enough for her tastes. So you committed fraud, again. I did what I had to do for our family. Victor snorts. She did it for herself, always has. The negotiation continued. They haggled like this was normal. My wife of 27 years and her criminal partner discussing their illegal money split in my living room while I sat there like an idiot trying to process that my entire life was built on lies. Finally, Victor leaves with a promise. 48 hours, Diane. Half the money or I make calls. Diane turns to me. You can't tell anyone about this. The entitlement. The absolute balls. Me, are you seriously telling me what I can and can't do right now? If this comes out, we lose everything. The kids' college funds, the house, our retirement. You'll be implicated too. Spouse privilege only goes so far when you're living off fraud proceeds. I didn't know. Prove it. You've been living comfortably. New cars, vacations, private schools for the kids. You think investigators will believe you had no idea? I walked out, went to a hotel, needed to think. Update 2. Spent the night at a Holiday Inn Googling lawyers and trying not to panic. By morning, I had a plan. First, I hired 2 lawyers. Criminal defense for me, divorce attorney for what was coming. Expensive? Yeah, but cheaper than federal prison. Criminal lawyer Jenkins was blunt. Your wife's right about one thing. You've benefited from the fraud financially. We need to establish you as a victim, not an accomplice. How? Document everything. Record conversations, if legal in your state. Show you're cooperating, and distance yourself financially immediately. So I did. Went to the bank that morning. The $2 million was in our joint savings. Stupid place to put fraud money, but Diane wasn't as smart as she thought. I couldn't touch it. That would be theft. But I could protect myself. Moved my entire paycheck deposit to a new individual account. Documented every deposit I'd ever made versus what Diane contributed. Created a paper trail showing my legitimate income versus her investments and mysterious deposits over the years. Then I went home. Diane was on the phone with someone, hung up when she saw me. Where were you? Getting my affairs in order. Don't be dramatic. We just need to pay Victor, and this goes away. No, Diane, this doesn't go away. You committed multiple felonies. We have a good life. We have built something. Don't throw it away over some ancient history. The way she kept saying we like I was complicit made my skin crawl. I want a divorce. She laughed. Actually laughed. You can't divorce me. I know too much about your interests. What interests? That gambling problem you had? The debts I helped pay off? I never had a gambling problem. Never had debts. But I realized what she was doing, creating a narrative. That's when I pulled out my phone, showed her it was recording. For the record, I've never gambled beyond an occasional lottery ticket. Never had debts you paid. Would you like to clarify what you mean? Her face went red. Turn that off. No, and I'm calling the FBI. You wouldn't dare. You'll destroy your own life. My life's already destroyed. I just found out it was built on lies and crime. She grabbed for my phone. I pulled back. She actually tried to tackle me. This 51-year-old woman launching herself at me like a linebacker. I stepped aside. She hit the coffee table. Then came the screaming. You're abusing me. Help. He's attacking me. I just kept recording. Stood there filming her rolling around on the floor, claiming assault while I was 6 feet away. Diane, you're on camera right now showing no injuries and me nowhere near you. She stopped, got up, straightened her hair. Fine, but if you report this, I'll make sure you go down with me. 27 years of marriage? No way you didn't know. I'll testify you were involved from the start. Go ahead. I left again. From my car, I called the FBI fraud hotline. Update 3. The FBI moved faster than I expected. Guess a $2 million insurance fraud with multiple victims over 30 years gets their attention. 2 agents showed up at my lawyer's office the next day. I told them everything, handed over the recording, bank records, everything I had. Agent Martinez, the lead, was actually sympathetic. Mr. Brennan, I've seen this before. Spouse finds out their partner's a career criminal. You did the right thing coming forward. Am I in trouble? You've benefited from the proceeds, yes, but you're cooperating fully, had no knowledge, and came forward immediately upon discovery. That counts for a lot. They needed more, though. Would I wear a wire? Get Diane to admit specifics? My lawyer advised against it, but I didn't care anymore. I wanted the truth, all of it. That evening, I went home wired up. Diane was in the kitchen with her sister Gloria, drinking wine. Gloria saw me first. Well, look who came crawling back. Gloria, you should probably leave. Gloria, I know all about your little tantrum, Diane told me. You're upset about some old insurance stuff? Grow up. Diane had clearly spun her some story. It's fine, Gloria. Robert's just processing. After Gloria left, Diane tried a new tactic. Came over all soft and apologetic. Baby, I know this is a shock, but think about our kids. Think about what this would do to them. You should have thought about that before committing fraud. It was one time. Victor says it was at least 3 times before me. Victor's lying. He's trying to extort us. So you didn't fake his death multiple times for insurance money? She was quiet for a moment, calculating. Look, yes, okay? When I was young and stupid, we did some things, but that was 30 years ago. I changed when I met you. Except you filed another claim last month. For our future, for our retirement. You think your pension's enough? You think Social Security will cover us? So you committed fraud. I took an opportunity. One that literally hurts nobody. Victor's not dead. The insurance company is worth billions. It's still fraud, Diane. That's when she dropped the mask completely. God, you're pathetic. You know what your problem is? No vision, no ambition, content to be a middle manager forever. At least I'm not a criminal. No, you're just a boring, predictable man who needed me to make his life interesting. Without me, you'd be in some sad apartment, eating microwave dinners, watching sports alone. Me? Maybe, but at least I'd be honest. She threw her wine glass at me. Mist shattered against the wall. Get out, get the hell out of my house. Me, actually, it's half mine, and I'm staying. The next morning, Victor showed up again. This time, the FBI was watching. Update 4, Victor's arrival was like watching a predator circle prey. He knew something was up. Victor, where's my money, Diane? I need more time. The bank has holds. Bullshit. You've got 24 hours, or I start making calls. He looked at me. Your husband know the full story yet? About the Chicago job? The one where that old lady had a heart attack when she found out her son wasn't actually dead? Diane went pale. That wasn't supposed to happen. Victor, a lot of things weren't supposed to happen, like you cutting me out and going solo. The FBI had enough. They moved in right after Victor left. The arrest was almost anticlimactic. Diane answered the door thinking it was a delivery. They had her in cuffs before she could say anything beyond "What's happening?" She looked at me as they led her out. You did this. You destroyed our family. Even then, even caught red-handed, she was the victim in her mind. The kids. God, telling the kids was the worst part. Our oldest, Megan, 24, was in grad school. The twins, Josh and Hannah, 19, were sophomores in college. I did it over video call. No easy way to say, your mom's been arrested for insurance fraud spanning 3 decades. Megan cried. Josh went silent. Hannah asked the question I dreaded. Did you know? No. I found out 3 days ago. How could you not know for 27 years? Hannah demanded. How do you answer that? How do you explain you trusted someone so completely that you never questioned mysterious deposits or her reluctance to talk about her past? The investigation exploded from there. Turns out Diane and Victor's scheme went deeper. Shell companies, fake identities, tax evasion. The $2 million recent claim? Tip of the iceberg. Over 30 years, they'd stolen close to $8 million. My divorce lawyer, Paulson, was having a field day. She can't claim marital assets when those assets are proceeds of crime. The house, the investments, anything bought with fraud money could be seized. Great, so I might lose everything anyway. But here's where Diane's entitlement reached new peaks. From jail through her lawyer, she sent a proposal. She'd claim I was uninvolved if I agreed to pay for her defense, not divorce her, put money in her commissary account, keep her on my health insurance, maintain her car payments. The absolute delusion. I sent back a one-word response. No. Her family started their campaign immediately. Gloria called me screaming, "She's your wife, for better or worse. You're abandoning her when she needs you most." Her mother, Ellen, was worse. "Robert, please. She only did this for your family. Don't let my baby rot in prison. You have money hidden away. I know you do. Use it for her bail at least." "Ellen, I don't have hidden money. Everything's frozen or being investigated." "Then mortgage the house, sell your car, do something." "She committed fraud for 30 years. She's going to prison." "You heartless bastard. After everything she gave you." "She gave me a life built on lies. But sure." Update 5. The trial was set for 6 months out. Diane's bail was set at $500,000. Nobody could pay it. Her family harassed me daily, but I'd changed my number, stayed in a rental apartment. Then Diane played her last card. Her lawyer contacted mine. Diane would testify that I was fully aware and complicit unless I paid for her defense and supported her publicly. My lawyer laughed. She's on tape admitting you didn't know. The FBI has you on surveillance being shocked by the revelation. She's got nothing. But Diane didn't care about winning. She wanted to inflict maximum damage. She started writing letters to my employer, claiming I'd been embezzling to support our lifestyle. Pure fiction, but an investigation started anyway. I was put on administrative leave. She contacted the kids, telling them I'd abandoned the family, that I'd known about everything but was throwing her under the bus to save myself. Josh believed her initially, stopped talking to me for a month until Megan talked sense into him. She even reached out to my elderly parents, spinning tales about my gambling addiction and violent temper. My mom called me crying, confused, not knowing what to believe. The investigators found nothing at my job because there was nothing to find. But the damage was done. Trust issues, they said. Reputation concerns. I was let go with a small severance. At 52, unemployed, going through a divorce with a criminal wife trying to destroy me out of spite. Then Victor flipped. The FBI offered him a deal. Full cooperation for immunity on the old crimes, only serving time for recent activities. He took it. His testimony was devastating. Detailed records, recordings he'd made of Diane planning schemes, evidence of crimes I hadn't even known about. Turns out she'd been running small cons our entire marriage. The investment returns she'd brag about, elderly people scammed out of retirement savings. That consulting work she did, fake invoicing schemes. Our life was funded by crime. Every family vacation, every birthday gift, every Christmas morning paid for with stolen money. The trial was brutal. Diane took the stand, tried to play the controlled by abusive men card. Said Victor forced her into the early schemes, that I pressured her to maintain a lifestyle she couldn't afford legally. The prosecutor destroyed her with her own words. Recording after recording of her bragging about cons, planning new schemes, showing zero remorse. When they played my wire recording, where she called me pathetic and admitted to the fraud, she actually tried to claim I'd edited it. The FBI's tech expert shut that down in minutes. Verdict? Guilty on all counts. 37 counts of fraud, identity theft, tax evasion, conspiracy. Sentence, 15 years federal prison, no parole. The look she gave me when they read it, pure hatred. Like I was the criminal for not letting her get away with it. Final update. It's been a year now since that Sunday when Victor knocked on our door. Lost the house, seized as purchased with fraud proceeds. Lost most of our savings, same reason. Kids' college funds were partially salvaged since I could prove my legitimate contributions, but they still had to take out loans. Diane from prison still maintains she's the victim. Sends letters to anyone who'll listen about how her vindictive ex-husband destroyed her life over one mistake. Gloria still believes her, posts about it on Facebook. I don't care anymore. The kids, it's complicated. Megan gets it, stays in touch, understands I was a victim too. Josh came around, even apologized for initially believing Diane. Hannah still struggles. Says she understands intellectually but emotionally can't process that her entire childhood was funded by crime. I found work eventually. Smaller company, less pay, but they know my history and hired me anyway. Everyone deserves a second chance, my new boss said, even when the first chance wasn't your fault. Dating? Hell no. Trust issues doesn't begin to cover it. My therapist says it'll take time. Maybe. Right now, I'm just trying to rebuild something honest. Oh, and the kicker? Last month I get a call from the FBI. They found more. Diane had another identity, another dead husband, another insurance policy in the works. She was planning to run the same con again while married to me, just waiting for the right moment to disappear and collect. I wasn't a husband. I was cover. A respectable life she could point to while running her schemes. The prosecutor added another 5 years to her sentence. Victor died for real 3 months ago. Heart attack. The irony isn't lost on me. The man who died multiple times for money finally died for real, and nobody could collect a cent. Sometimes I wonder if there were signs I missed. How do you not know your wife's a career criminal for 27 years? But the investigators told me she was good, really good, compartmentalized her life completely. The Diane I knew was a character she played. The real Diane? I never met her until that day Victor showed up. People ask if I regret turning her in, especially since it cost me everything. No, living a lie, even unknowingly, was already costing me everything. At least now I'm broke with the truth, instead of comfortable with deception. Diane wrote me one last letter from prison. Said when she gets out, she's gonna make sure I pay for ruining her life. That she knows where I work, where the kids live, that she has friends who owe her favors. I sent it to the FBI. They're adding witness intimidation to her charges. She never learns. The entitlement, the belief that everyone else exists to serve her needs, that consequences don't apply to her. It's bone deep. Guess that's what happens when you get away with it for 30 years. You forget that eventually, everyone pays the bill. Even if it takes a dead man coming back to life to deliver it. My wife posted, "Finally free," with her coworker while I was having emergency surgery. I commented, "Congratulations." Then her boss saw my comment exposing their affair using company resources. Both their termination letters arrived while she was still celebrating her freedom. I, 38 male, was wheeled into emergency surgery at 11:23 p.m. on a Thursday. Appendix decided to go nuclear. My wife Tara, 35, was supposed to be there, but she had a critical deadline at her accounting firm. Said she'd come right after submitting the quarterly report. The surgery took longer than expected, complications with internal bleeding. Woke up around 3 a.m., groggy as hell, reaching for my phone. First thing I see, Instagram notification. Tara tagged me in something. The post, her and Derek, her 31M work husband, clinking champagne glasses at some rooftop bar. Caption, "Finally free, no more chains, no more deadweight. Living my best life with someone who actually gets me. At Derek, accounting king, freedom, new beginnings, bye-bye boring." Tagged me. While I was literally being cut open, there were 89 likes already, comments from her coworkers congratulating her on finally doing it, and "Yes, queen, upgrade season." I stared at it for maybe 2 minutes. The heart monitor started beeping faster. Nurse rushed in, asked if I was okay. Yeah, just processing that my marriage ended via Instagram while my appendix tried to kill me. Typed one word in the comments, "Congratulations." Then I noticed something interesting. The photo metadata showed it was taken at 9:47 p.m. The critical deadline she mentioned, their Q3 reports were due at 10 p.m. They were drinking on a rooftop while supposedly crunching numbers. Even better, Derek's shirt had their company logo. The rooftop looked familiar. That was their office building's executive terrace, the one reserved for client entertainment only. Screenshot everything. Then I did something petty but satisfying. See, Tara's boss, Mr. Fitzgerald, is old school. LinkedIn only, thinks Instagram is for kids and clowns. But his wife Dottie? She follows everyone from their company. She'd commented heart emojis on Tara's previous posts. I tagged Dottie. "Beautiful view from your husband's building." Didn't know the Q3 deadline included champagne service on the executive terrace. Then I went back to sleep. Morphine's wonderful like that. Update 1. Woke up at 7 a.m. to my phone vibrating nonstop. 47 texts from Tara. Yeah, exactly 47, I counted. "What did you do?" "Delete that comment now. This isn't funny." Mr. Fitzgerald called Derek at 6 a.m. "We're both suspended pending investigation. You ruined everything. I was drunk. Didn't mean it. Please call me back. I'm coming to the hospital." The last one made me act fast. Called the nurses' station, explained my wife and I were having issues and I didn't want visitors. They put a restriction on my room. Then I called my brother Ray, 41, lawyer, doesn't mess around. "You sound rough," he said. "Appendix surgery." Also, Tara announced our divorce on Instagram while I was under. "What?" Sent him the screenshots. Long pause. "Holy shh. Okay. Don't delete anything. Screenshot everything. I'll be there in an hour." While waiting, I did some investigating. Tara's Instagram story from earlier that day showed her and Derek working late with a selfie in the conference room. Except the conference room clock showed 7:32 p.m. The expensive whiskey bottle on the table? That's from the executive liquor cabinet. I know because Tara complained about never being senior enough to access it. More interesting, Derek's LinkedIn shows he's engaged to someone named Bethany. Quick Facebook search. Bethany's status still says engaged. Last post was about planning their spring wedding. I might have sent Bethany a friend request with a message, "Hi, you don't know me, but thought you should see what your fiancé posted last night." Attached the screenshots. Ray arrived as I was finishing that. He took one look at me and laughed. "You look way too pleased for someone who just had surgery." "I'm on excellent pain meds and my cheating wife just destroyed her own career. It's a complicated morning." He reviewed everything, then made some calls. By noon, he'd filed the separation paperwork and frozen our joint assets, which wasn't much, just our emergency fund that she'd have definitely drained. But the best part came at 2 p.m. Mr. Fitzgerald himself called me. "Mr. Thompson? This is Robert Fitzgerald from Pinnacle Accounting. I apologize for calling during your recovery, but I needed to personally address this situation." "No worries. How can I help?" "First, I want to apologize. The behavior displayed by our employees was beyond unprofessional. Using company property for personal celebrations during billable hours, accessing restricted areas, and consuming client entertainment resources without authorization." That does sound serious. Indeed. Both employees have been terminated effective immediately. We'll be pursuing recovery of misused resources. I also wanted to assure you that any company devices will be reviewed and returned to you if they contain personal information. "I appreciate that. Between us," his voice dropped, "my wife Dottie is mortified she was supporting that home-wrecking behavior." Her words. "She's been showing the post to everyone at her book club as an example of what's wrong with young people today." After he hung up, I checked Instagram. Tara's post was gone, but the internet is forever. Someone had already screenshot it and it was spreading through their company gossip network. Text from an unknown number. "This is Bethany. Thank you. The wedding is off. Also, Derek's stuff is in garbage bags on the lawn if Tara needs a roommate." I laughed so hard the nurse came to check on me. Update 2. Day 3 post-surgery. Still in the hospital. Complications from the internal bleeding meant longer monitoring. The entitlement exhibition began. Tara's mother, Darlene, showed up at 8 a.m. Somehow got past the visitor restriction by claiming to be my mother. Security was now involved. "How dare you?" She actually finger-wagged at me while I was still hooked to IVs. "My daughter made one mistake and you destroyed her entire life." Darlene, she announced our divorce on Instagram while I was in surgery. She was emotional. "You've been neglecting her, working all those long hours." I work standard 9 to 5. She met my weekend volunteer work at the animal shelter. She was drinking with Derek instead of working. That's why she got fired. That's your fault. If you'd been a better husband, she wouldn't have needed Derek's support. Support? Is that what we're calling it? She actually tried to grab my phone. "You're going to call Mr. Fitzgerald right now and tell him it was all a misunderstanding." Security arrived. As they escorted her out, she screamed, "You'll be hearing from our lawyer." They did not have a lawyer. 2 hours later, Tara herself showed up with Derek. They brought him to my hospital room. Derek looked like he'd been crying. Tara looked furious. "You need to fix this," she announced. "Fix what?" "Tell Mr. Fitzgerald we weren't doing anything wrong. It was after hours. It was 9:47 p.m. Your deadline was 10 p.m. Derek finally spoke. "Dude, come on. We're talking about our careers here." "Careers you destroyed by drinking company booze on company property during billable hours while announcing an affair on social media." "It wasn't an affair," Tara protested. "We were just celebrating our connection. While married and engaged to other people?" "Bethany overreacted," Derek whined. "She threw my PlayStation out the window." "Just the PlayStation?" "And my gaming PC, and my signed basketball collection." I couldn't help it. I laughed. Tara's face went red. "This isn't funny. We have no income. The apartment requires proof of employment. We could be homeless." "We?" "Derek and I are moving in together." "Wow, that was fast." "Where else can we go? You've turned everyone against us." I posted one word, "Congratulations." "You know what you did." She actually stamped her foot. "Now you're gonna fix it or I'll make your life hell in the divorce." Ray chose that moment to walk in with coffee. "Oh good, you're here. Saves me the trouble of serving you." Handed her the divorce papers. "And Mr. Fitzgerald asked me to give you this." Handed Derek an envelope. Inside, a bill for $2,847 for misappropriated company resources, including alcohol, unauthorized facility usage, and damages to company reputation. They both left screaming about suing everyone. Update 3, Week 2 home from the hospital. The entitlement reached astronomical levels. First, Tara tried to claim I was financially abusing her by not paying her bills. Posted a sob story on Facebook about being abandoned by a narcissistic ex who waited until she was vulnerable to strike. Her version: she was working late, had one glass of champagne to celebrate finishing a huge project, made an emotional post because she was exhausted, and vindictive me used it to destroy her life. Problem? Derek's fiancée Bethany had entered the chat with receipts. Bethany commented, "One glass? Here's Derek's credit card statement showing $400 at that rooftop bar that night. Here's also the 73 text messages between you two over the past 3 months talking about your connection and how your spouses don't understand you." The post got deleted real quick. Then came the rental applications. Tara and Derek couldn't get approved anywhere. No jobs, no references, and when landlords Googled them, first result was a local blog post titled, "Accounting Firm Employees Fired for Instagram Scandal," with the screenshot. So Tara tried something bold. She applied for apartments using my employment info. Got a call from a property manager. "Mr. Thompson, just verifying your application for the unit on Riverside." I didn't apply for anything. I own my house. "Oh, well, someone named Tara Thompson applied saying you were her husband and would be co-signing. We're getting divorced. Please flag that as fraud." This happened 3 more times. She also tried to 1. Get a car loan in my name. Failed. I'd already alerted credit bureaus. 2. Return to the house while I was at a follow-up appointment. Failed. Changed locks. Neighbor called cops. 3. Claim unemployment saying I was the reason she was fired. Failed. Company provided documentation. 4. Start a GoFundMe claiming she was abused and left with nothing. Failed. Bethany posted the receipts in the comments. But the peak entitlement came when she called my job. My boss pulled me aside. "Just got an interesting call. Your soon-to-be ex-wife wants me to hire her because you owe her since your employee ruined her life. She wanted you to hire her to work with me?" Better. She wanted your position, said you could be her assistant since he's used to serving me anyway. My boss actually laughed. I told her we don't have any openings in the delusional department. Meanwhile, Derek was having his own crisis. Turns out Bethany wasn't just throwing his stuff out. She was a paralegal, her dad was a lawyer, and they were going after him for the $30,000 he'd spent on the wedding venues they'd already booked. He called me crying. Actually crying. "Bro, can you tell Bethany I'm not that bad? Maybe we were just friends?" You literally posted about living your best life with your soulmate while your fiancé was wedding planning. It was the alcohol talking. For 3 months of texts. He hung up. Final update. It's been 3 months since the surgery. Divorce is final. Time for the complete update. The fraud attempts. Tara got desperate, really desperate. Started a consulting business, claiming she had 15 years of accounting experience. She had 5. Listed fake clients, including companies she'd audited at Pinnacle. Mr. Fitzgerald found out when a client called asking why their former auditor was claiming to be their current consultant. He sent cease and desist letters. Then contacted the State Board of Accountancy about her misrepresenting her credentials. She's now banned from practicing accounting in our state for 3 years. The housing crisis. Unable to get approved anywhere, Tara and Derek moved in with Derek's parents. That lasted exactly 4 days. His mom found them day drinking in the basement while job hunting and kicked them out. They're now in Tara's childhood bedroom at Darlene's house. Darlene charges them rent. The job hunt. Derek got a job at a tax prep chain. Seasonal work, minimum wage plus commission. He messages me monthly begging for references. Tara works part-time at a makeup store, posted about being too good for corporate culture anyway and following her passion. Her passion apparently involves being written up twice for being late and once for drinking on lunch break. The legal aftermath. Divorce was straightforward. No kids, clean asset split. She tried to claim alimony, but Ray shut that down quick. Adultery proven via her own social media, plus she was capable of working. She had to pay me $1,400 for the fraudulent apartment applications and attempted identity theft. Pinnacle Accounting pursued the $2,847. Derek's wages are being garnished. Bethany successfully sued Derek for the wedding deposits. His tax prep checks mostly go to her. The social consequences. Their former coworker crowd dropped them completely. Turns out nobody wants to associate with people who got fired for stealing company booze and publicly destroying marriages. Tara's been through 3 friend groups. Each one figures out she's the common denominator in all her drama. Derek tried to get back with Bethany. She's now engaged to someone else and posted their engagement photos at the same rooftop bar. Petty? Yes. Deserved? Also yes. The plot twist. Last week, got a LinkedIn message from a recruiter. Pinnacle Accounting is expanding their audit division. Mr. Fitzgerald personally recommended me for a senior position, citing my professional handling of a personal crisis and demonstration of integrity under pressure. The salary? Double what Tara was making. I start next month. The final pettiness. I donated $500 to the animal shelter in Tara's name. They sent her a thank you card with a photo of the dogs I help walk on weekends. You know, during all that neglecting I was doing. She texted me, "Really, this is so childish." I replied, "Congratulations on supporting a good cause." Then blocked her number. The real final update. Ran into Darlene at the grocery store yesterday. She tried to guilt trip me again. Tara cries every night. Derek's useless. They're miserable. Sounds like they're finally free then. Isn't that what they wanted? She started to argue, but I just walked away. Bought myself a nice bottle of champagne, the expensive kind, from the top shelf. Sent a photo to Ray with the caption, "Celebrating my freedom, the right way, alone, with nobody else's spouse." He replied, "Proud of you, bro." Am I happy? Getting there. Therapy helps. The promotion helps more. Do I regret commenting on that post? Nah. One word changed everything. Sometimes the best revenge isn't elaborate. It's just letting people face the consequences of their own choices. To everyone asking if this was worth it, she announced our divorce while I was being cut open. She tried to steal my identity. She attempted to get me fired. All I did was say, "Congratulations." Everything else? That was all them.